we want from people is to stick in there with the marriage, but the marriage has to come first, and the marriage is going to come before those children. Children should never come before a man and his wife.
And what about that hierarchy, though? Doesn't that make the woman less valuable if the man is first?
How? When God has created this hierarchy. Mm-hmm. So if you have faith and you believe, and this is how it is, how is that?
But less valuable.
Questions,
yeah, but less valuable. Less valuable. Again, if I'm doing what God told me to do, I'm treating her like the queen she is.
Exactly.
I'm giving her everything that I can give her. She ain't worrying about nothing in life. She ain't worrying about nobody hurting her or harming her, because the harm gonna come to me first.
Welcome to Hardly Initiated, where real men talk real shit. It is your host, Tyshawn Jackson, joined here for another very special episode with my co-host, Ryan Catchings.
It's going to be a lot of learning. This episode.
Oh, my goodness.
We're going deep
We
work.
got 36 years of experience on the platform, y'all. The authors of Surviving Marriage have joined us on Hardly Initiated here today. I'm joined here with Rufus and Jenny. Welcome to Hardly Initiated.
What's up, man?
Thanks so much for having us. He gave us 36.
Was
Even
it not
though
36?
we've known each other 36, but we've been married 33.
33, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it feel like 36. I'm going with his 36.
Well, I would say 36 years, whether married or not, being with somebody and learning them, figuring them out, working it out with them, growing with them.
Day after day after day.
Why y'all think we called the book
day.
Surviving Marriage?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Look, when we first said Surviving Marriage, people was like,
Yeah, why I gotta survive?
Why you surviving?
Yeah, why
Because I survived.
Right.
And I always say, well, I can show you some ones that didn't.
But first of all, it's a lot of them that didn't. The first thing I thought about when I thought about Surviving Marriage was that Surviving R. Kelly. That's the first thing I thought about.
Well, I ain't even say they got that from us. I ain't even say they got that from us.
Surviving Marriage was out before any Surviving. You see anything?
So far, I
Surviving
had
They stole
to
it
do
from
no
y'all.
cease and
Surviving R.
desist
Kelly came
letters,
after that,
but folks need to be careful with they surviving.
Well, they need to say where they got surviving from. That's what they need to do.
So let's talk about it, because let me tell y'all, it was getting so spicy before the show. I literally had to stop the conversation so we can go into the podcast. And I wish I could have saw it, but I'm gonna try to get back to that spiciness the best way I can, because we got all these conversations happening nowadays about gender roles and the man and the woman and who's all doing this. And y'all got 36 years in the game. And let me ask you specifically, right? Is there anything, and let me go here. I'm gonna start with my brother over there first. Okay.
Watch out now.
36 years of experience in the game. Is there anything that you expected when you first started marriage, or now, from specifically
Let him
that?
get the
No.
question
I didn't get it.
I had some expectations. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean specifically for your woman. Is there any specific role that you expected your woman to play in your relationship, and did it change based on what you expected after going 36 years in the game?
Did you see Coming to America?
Yeah.
Next year. That's what I want.
That ain't what you
That's
got.
what I want.
That ain't what you
That
got.
show ain't what I got.
Hey, we got to put that Coming to America clip in there.
Yeah, we got to do that.
Okay,
So 100, I had expectations that, I grew up with my grandmother and grandfather. Look, older people, it's totally different from what y'all, what y'all getting
I can
is
only
different from
imagine.
what we got.
Yeah.
Right? So when I was growing up, I saw my father said they cooked me some breakfast. He got some breakfast. My grandmama told my granddad to go out there and go get the eggs from the hens. He went out there and got the eggs from the hens. I got with her. I said, "Hey, I just wanted can I have a donut or something? You can get it yourself."
Is your hands
So
broke?
kind of get it myself. Who taught you that?
Is your hands
That ain't what I
broke?
saw growing
Mary
up.
Jennings taught me that. That's it.
Excuse me.
I was raised independent.
I was expecting something different, way different.
So then why did you accept that? Like if you saw that growing up and that's not what you was used to, and obviously that's not what you had liked, because that probably gave you some issues, why did you still decide to accept that and grow with it?
Because study a little bit what we was talking about earlier. You know, learning, reading, learning what my role was. Our roles as human beings, we can learn from. I know growing up that I can learn from anybody. Anybody can learn from me. So, and I had to accept her where she was. See, again, one of the biggest things that I think is our expectations going into a marriage, because I would say relationship, but I'm gonna say into a marriage. Our expectations is one of the biggest problems with that relationship, because you got to meet somebody where they at. So I think in the beginning, I didn't meet her where she was at. We had problems. Bro, I almost divorced about 8 times.
8. 8.
It
Why
was
does
something
it
like that.
increase like every
Well, 4, 5,
interview?
Real truth coming out
7.
right
Yeah,
now.
we went
It was a
before,
lot.
now it's like 8. Okay.
I was ready to go. That's all I'm saying.
And I was ready
So-
for you to go. You
so-
take your PlayStation and
So
carry
I
on. my brother.
I knew what I learned or what I saw, what I thought I wanted was wrong. Or I'm finna get a divorce. The bottom line was I finna get divorced. So I started, I learned to meet her where she was. So if she wasn't there yet, I just moved on. I was cool with myself. One of the other big things that we tell people when we do marriage counseling and premarital counseling is be cool with yourself. If you finna get into a marriage, please make sure you cool with yourself first. Because if you ain't cool with yourself, that you're gonna have all kind of problems in that relationship.
What do you mean when you say cool with yourself? What does that mean?
Secure in who you are.
That means I didn't need her to be who I wanted her to be. I was cool with me. So if she wasn't down with what I was trying to do or what I was doing, I was cool with that. I just
You
got
have to
cool
be.
with me, and then as long as I could be me and do what I do. Like I like playing PlayStation, right? I get on my PlayStation. She doing her thing. I don't have to keep bothering her. I can go and be by myself and be okay. A lot of people, even some of the older generation, they couldn't. They were so
Codependent.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? That when someone grows, when they say grow apart. I don't really feel it's grow apart. Like if we're learning as we going through life, everybody better grow. Your marriage better grow, or you're gonna be stuck somewhere, right? And then if the other person grow and you don't, you stuck. So I was okay with me.
Jenny, let me ask you this, because Rufus, he mentioned that he had to meet you where you was at. So I want to get an idea of what that looked like. So you also mentioned that you were raised independent.
Very independent.
What
even
does that mean?
though we're both from 2-parent households. So our parents were married. His parents, he just lost his father in November. Their parents married 54 years up until his dad passed. My parents were married 32 years up until my dad passed first. So 2-parent household, but my mom, strong black woman. I'm the youngest of 3 girls, raised very independent, always have your own money, pay your own bills, have a car up under you, have somewhere to go and different things, all those things, even though she's a married woman. She's a married woman. She always told me to have this and don't be dependent on a man. But I was also told, don't bring no babies to my house, get married. So I had that cohesiveness as far as this is how you're going to be independently, but you're not going to be dependent.
Yeah,
So
you were
he
trying to be independent in a relationship, though. Excuse me.
So he enhanced me, but he didn't necessarily, smother me. Like our marriage coming together was an enhancement. And that was also something morally as how we wanted to, because we never lived together. First day we got married was the day we got in our apartment.
Oh, wow.
We never lived together.
Well, I told her she wasn't moving in with me unless she was married. Unless Beyonce better I put a ring on it first.
So that whole situation was an acclamation of learning each other.
Literally, and a lot of people, again, they before marriage, they live together, right? And then they don't like each other, and they say, "Well, shoot, I don't know if we need to get married, right?" But Adam, I'm gonna just go back to the beginning. When God created Adam and his wife, they just had to live together. Literally, they didn't get to know each
Exactly.
other. He created Adam and he created his wife, and Y'all husband and wife now.
Exactly. And they had to work it out.
So they had to work
To
it
work
out.
it out.
Okay, so
So do you suggest that though? Like do you suggest people jump into the unexpected of going ahead and living with each? Because I know it's some very unique things you find out when you actually live with somebody.
Lord.
And if they didn't, and I can probably make a strong case and say if y'all don't like each other living together before marriage, you gonna probably not like them afterwards. I don't think marriage changes you just all of a sudden liking somebody because of the ceremony. But do you suggest that somebody goes ahead and wait until marriage to actually go about moving in?
I suggest you ask a lot of questions
Yeah,
before you
do.
close that door.
You do that. And
That's what I suggest.
We have found that people have spent years, like they make the decision to live together, and then they have spent years
Thinking they know each other.
living with somebody else's spouse because they don't end up getting married.
Well, that's true too, but they also take so many years living together, and you still do not know when you get married. Literally, I believe that God created marriage as a test. See, so I don't believe that we can play married and all of
Yeah.
that other good stuff.
Yeah.
I believe we have to be
It's-
married before the real test come.
It's
Because I believe
playing-
marriage is from
and
God.
It's actually playing house because if you are living together and you're not working towards marriage, what are you really doing?
right.
What
You
are you
just kinda
doing?
just
Exactly.
going with
You're
the
just
flow.
kind of existing, right?
Right.
And there's a lot of people that get comfortable in those situations. And then they wake up and they've lost themselves because they're like, child, this dude still ain't asked me to marry him. And you're here. But why are you there? Because you thought that was the goal and there was never any agreement. And now you've wasted 3-4 years of your life and there's no end goal.
So I want to stick on this like the religion relationship kind of space. So as far as you guys' study and what you practice, what is the recommended hierarchy or structure of a relationship?
God, husband, wife, children. So all those memes or videos and different things that you see time and time again, like who gets served first, who gets the plate first. If you go by what God intended it to be, a woman is going to serve her man, her mate. He's going to get served. He's going to get fed. Those kids can wait. They'll be there. Those kids can wait. How many households bring the kids in so they can eat?
You get a big piece of chicken.
Yeah,
Well, you can't.
the kids eat first.
I mean, another big mistake I think in parenting is putting the kids first like that. You have to put number one each other first, and if you're gonna follow that structure with God, and if your man is not following God, you shouldn't be following him. That's the bottom line.
That's in any religion.
That's another
That's in any
huge
religion.
one.
Trust me, because in our work with Jewish people in Judaism, they are really strict about that. Like the whole community
Because what are
comes
you-
against. I don't see that in
Because
Christianity a lot. Like if the man isn't doing what they're supposed to do, Christians come against him and different things. I don't see that a lot. But in Judaism and a lot of times in Islam, I mean, the whole community will come and say like, hey,
Yeah.
hey, what you
Christianity's a lot
doing
more
here?
chill,
Yeah.
a lot more tolerant.
Yeah, the Jews will be like, hey.
I might pray, I might not. I might go to church, I might
Christianity's
not.
like you make it what you want to make.
Right.
You want to do this thing, I'm about to support you.
Yeah. Jews like, you got to step it up. What's going on? You can't be treating her like that. She deserves to be, treated a certain way. She deserves provision. Take care of these kids. What are going on? Jews will come to the table, the whole family, the synagogue,
Again,
everybody.
If you're putting each other first, when those kids do finally leave and they're gonna stop listening to you and they're gonna start doing what they want to do anyway, if you're putting each other first, you're in a good space when those children do leave. If you are putting everything that them kids, what the kids did, the kids want this, the kids that, the kids that, and that mate is the second in line. When them kids leave,
Yep.
it's all
Yeah.
kind of problems.
Yeah, and we can speak from experience on that. But first of all, we're empty nesters. So, our children have been gone since 2011.
Okay.
And we're empty nesters. But not only that, in our marriage work, we have several people that have come to us that have been 20 years married. Children are going off to college and different things. They've lost themselves in their marriages. And now they're ready to give up on their marriage. because
And
they
only
don't, they
hung
don't
on
know
until
each
the
other.
kids left, all of that good stuff. So what we want from people is to stick in there with the marriage. But the marriage has to come first. And the marriage is going to come before those children. Children should never come before a man and his wife.
And what
Exact-
about that hierarchy though? Doesn't that make the woman less valuable if the man is first?
How? When God has created this hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have faith and you believe
If-
and this is how it is, how is that?
But less
just asking questions, by the way.
Yeah, but less valuable. Less valuable. Again, if I'm doing what God told me to do, I'm treating her like the queen she is.
Exactly.
I'm giving her
Yes.
everything that I can give her. She ain't worrying about nothing in life. She ain't worrying about nobody hurting her or harming her because the harm gonna come to me first. So that protection and everything that she's getting,
Yeah.
shoot, she got it way better than me if you ask me.
It's tasked for the male to protect and provide. I don't worry about protection. I don't pay no bills. Somebody might have a problem with that.
Shoot, she ain't
I don't
paying
pay
no
no
bills.
bills.
Let me see, 1939.
Stop it. I wasn't even born
So
there.
you don't pay any bills.
I don't pay any bills.
Shoot, no.
Is that where would you advise every couple to have a goal to get to that point?
It depends on the couple's situation. But see,
So we know this new day stuff. and
Exactly. We
everything.
ain't heard all the 50-50 conversations.
Okay, okay.
So
I'm getting tired of the 50.
we understand that. But my thing is, here we go with having the double standard. You want it both ways, right? You don't want to be
Just
looked
that
at.
feminism.
Yeah.
and
You
stuff.
don't want the hierarchy because it makes you look like you don't matter. Okay? But then you want to be taken care of. So, I mean, what is it? What do you really, really want?
Now, some don't
You know,
mind
do-
doing the man. You know, they think some think they is the man.
Some do take very much so pride in being this strong, independent.
You can still
figure.
be
But that's
that.
not the-
Nobody
that's
would
right.
ever tell me or look at me or especially who knows me.
You can be that within the structure.
That exactly.
She is that within the structure.
I am all that.
Huh?
You know,
Well,
as
can
far
you
as
calm
that-
some of that down, please?
as far as that's concerned, no one would ever tell me that I'm less than him, that I am a maid servant or anything like that. 30-some years
Shoot,
of
I
marriage.
won't tell them that.
30-some years of marriage, I've never lost myself in who I am because he's always allowed me to be me. He's allowed me to show up as who I am.
And she allowed me to be me. So again,
Yeah.
that when
Now,
I hear
see, if
the
you're-
male female thing,
Yeah.
I'm a man.
And if you
Period.
if you're married to a narcissist, that might be a problem. You know, if you're married to someone you're in competition with, because we've counseled a lot of
If
couples
you married
who
to
are in
someone who really don't
competition.
understand what marriage is,
If you're married to someone who doesn't support you, your goals, dreams, aspirations, and all of that good type of stuff, that might be problematic. We don't have those issues.
and that's what I mean by being okay with yourself. I'm okay with me. So when she want to do all of those things, I don't need her to, fix my dinner. I can go fix my own dinner. My mama taught me how to cook.
Yeah, he
I
was
don't
a-
need nobody cooking
He was
for
actually
me.
a chef in the military, so he cooks a little bit better than me.
So
Just a
I'm
little
curious
bit.
about this. When it comes to, you said that you were the quintessential independent woman,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, especially because of our history in particular, our community has produced a lot of independent women. So
Whole song about it.
you had to go about meeting her where she was, but did you as a person also had to figure out how to kind of gear back on that, or was that persona, you know, did it end up working well into the marriage, or did it end up kind of causing more friction than good?
I was raised as an independent woman, but don't forget the other side of it. My mama said, don't bring no babies to my house. So that always meant that I was going to be in a relationship, in a marriage. The nurturing was
Where'd
always
you get that out of that?
the nurturing. I cannot talk. Hey, the nurturing was always inside of me, always. I knew how to treat him. He didn't like when we first got married how strong I was.
I'm about to say, you treated who?
How strong I was as far as I always had my own opinion. You know, I never bit my tongue as some people
I wish
do.
you would have.
I always spoke my mind, you know, as far as anything was concerned. He might have a little bit of problem with that part.
Little?
But the
Girl, please.
But the nurturing part, as far as a female, that was always inside of me. You can be both. I just think that some people may not know how to dial it down.
Well,
you
it's
could
a learning
you could
process.
let me ask you. You could be both, but should you be both?
You need to be both.
You gotta be both.
You need to be both because you're saying that there's a lot of strong, independent women out there. Okay. So how do you, I don't even want to say it like this, but how do you dial in that man? How do you tune into that man?
We ain't gonna arm wrestle.
If you are on 10 all the time, strong and
We ain't
independent,
bumping chest up in there.
the masculine and the feminine attract.
Gotta
Right,
calm it
right.
down.
Exactly. So how do you tune into that man? You got to bring it down. There's another side of you, and I don't think anybody is on 10 all the time.
I hope not.
I was gonna say
I know
some
people
names
be
right here, but I ain't gonna
thinking-
say that.
people be
But
thinking I'm on 10,
I don't think nobody is that strong and independent all the time.
I don't
See,
know about
because
that
they
one,
don't
Miss
talk.
Jenny.
They don't talk about the times that they crying on their pillow. You may not hear about those times.
I agree with that. Rufus, let me ask you this, because you in a situation where you in a marriage with this woman and things are not exactly how you would like them. Would you advise a man to stick around in that situation and to continue to pursue that relationship, looking back on it, or would you say, hey, maybe you should just go find another woman?
Oh no! I tell people now, if in the marriage you're not creating any major sins, stick in there. I stuck in there. If I would not be here now if I didn't stick in there. And so I know those hurdles that we have to get over with learning each other. I know those hurdles that we have to get over in order to make it to 20, 25, 30 years. So if you don't, the divorce rate is up because of people who didn't stick in there, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, it's gonna be major sins because they always say we grew apart.
Right. And I don't think a lot of people realize that, in our 30-some years of marriage, I mean, we're not dealing with any infidelity. We're not dealing with any abuse.
But understand what grew apart means,
Because that would
though.
be that. I mean, seriously, if this dude put his hands on me, that'd seriously be the time I catch a case, like for real. If I
Ain't nobody catching no case up in here.
No,
Hold
like
up.
if I ain't catch a case
Hold
no
up,
other
swole up.
time, no other time. I'm telling you, I was raised strong and
You ain't
independent.
got to be all
You ain't
swelled
put-
it up, though.
Yeah, I'd be like, my daddy didn't even yell at me. Okay, so you putting your hands on me? Oh no, it's a problem.
Hey, but if something else about religion that struck me, a man should not be hitting a woman, especially in her face. That's one of a big no's that, because God already know you have more strength than them in the first place. So here you go, because when we get upset. But then if we go back to religion, God says control your anger. And that's the reason why. Because we're not supposed to be sitting up fighting each other in these relationships.
Yeah, and how is that progress? So we have to go back to the basis as far as marriage was concerned. Marriage was created by God, Adam and Eve. A lot of people forget that.
A lot of people
because
communicated it's a government construct.
They think it's a government construct because they're not talking about religion. They
Government-
want to take
government didn't
religion,
exist before God.
Exactly. They want to take religion out of the conversation when religion is solely in the conversation because marriage was created by God.
You can't take from God what he created. That's period. You
That
can't
he-
take yourself from God.
Right.
You're still created.
So if you go back to the reason why marriage was created in the first place, it was for a mission. And a lot of marriages today, from a lot of couples that we counsel, they don't have a mission.
What is the mission?
There's no mission
Do
in
we
marriage.
understand what marriage is? Marriage is not only, for me, it's the biggest test of our life, right? For me, marriage is
It's half our
the
faith.
biggest test of anybody's
And we
life.
didn't-
If you can get along with two people in one room
In 30-some
oh my
years, yeah,
goodness,
we
you're
done-
doing really good.
We done been tested.
But marriage is it's a growth. It's first and foremost worship. He wants us to worship him, whatever your belief system is, he wants us to worship him. So when we talk about that structure, if the man is worshiping God, the woman should be, they say pleasing her man or whatever word they want to use. I'm just gonna say the woman is right below,
Right.
but she's not really right below.
And I
See,
just don't
I think
think-
that's still a misconception.
No,
Aisha.
because there's terminology or even sayings like back in the day. Behind every good man, there's a good woman.
And I can almost guarantee that.
They brought it forward, I think, in the 90s to say, beside every good man, there's a good woman. If you think about anything major that has happened in life, starting with Adam and Eve, nothing major movements have happened without a man and a woman, a married couple.
The only people
Nothing
who,
has happened.
The only people who have a problem with this, I mean, tell you the truth. And again, I feel everybody, whatever your belief system is, hey, that's you. And I don't take nothing from nobody, whatever their belief system is. This is just, but from the foundation of mankind, a husband and wife. Again, if we can look at the black community. Now, I'm gonna go to the black community right now, because if they was not able to break up the man and his wife, see, the children didn't matter. They broke up a man and his wife. Once they was able to do that, they was able to put all kind of things in our community. Because if you go back
Government
before,
programs.
where did we go to? The where they had the Wall Street.
Black Wall Street.
Oh, in Tulsa?
Tulsa. Oh, we went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and just wanted to go see and feel the vibe on what was there. Those people were married, thriving,
Had businesses.
Businesses. We were doing but we had the family structure was strong, so they had to without breaking up the family structure. Again, we would have our communities would grow even stronger. Period. So again, the family structure is so important. It don't matter what people believe in our belief system.
Yeah,
If
and
the family structure is strong, no matter what you believe, watch our community thrive. It's
But
been proven.
You have to look at who benefits when we're not married, when black couples are not married. Who benefits in the community? Where is that benefit? Because it's definitely not benefit in our community.
The corporate structures benefit because now they potentially got 2 working personnel. The government benefits because those 2 working personnel also are taxpayers. Consumers benefit because or capitalism benefits, like these companies, because we're both consumers and we dating, so we spend lots of money.
And
things like that.
lots of money. And it also just came out that single females are the most demographic now of home buyers, of home purchasers.
I've seen
Yeah.
that.
Exactly. So just think about that benefit if those were married couples. It would be less because those were married couples. But you have to think about everything that they've thrown into our communities with the war on drugs and mass incarceration and welfare. Can't have a man in the home and all of that. Who benefits for us not being together? That's when we sit back and we see all the viral videos and pitting men against women and the arguments and different
Or
things
making
like
women
that.
feel they don't need a man. All that good stuff.
I'm like, don't y'all understand that we can't be battling each other? That's not how we're
A
going to
man don't need a woman, a woman don't need a man. What in the world y'all talking about?
How we're
That is the
gonna
current
thrive.
message out
It's
right
like
now.
it's like the new racism.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what it is, the man versus the woman.
And why? Why? Who does that benefit? Where is the benefit there? How do we? Everybody wants to talk about progress. We need to do this. We need to do this. We need to do it. We need to stop fighting and bickering. We need to stop, and we need to stop generalizing just based on your perspective. Okay?
I'll be honest. We've been guilty of that because that also was gets you views and being very opinionated and generalizing without exception. But I do think we want to mature the conversation, which is part of the reason that we got you guys on the show. And I want to stick with the topic of talking about single women, because you mentioned that in a married woman in that situation, she's married. Her role is to serve the man, correct? So what is
her role? A single woman's mission is to serve God.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Okay,
Yes.
so a married woman is serving
A
her
married
man,
woman is to serve her husband.
her husband.
That is the hierarchy.
Got you.
You
And a
know,
single
so
woman-
when you out here serving everybody else, your girls and you got everything
Guys at the
else.
club.
Right.
Exactly.
everybody gets served.
Everybody getting served. You out here serving everybody else, and then you wonder, why am I single or why I don't have a man? But there's so many happily single people out here who really don't know what they
Why
want.
the quotation marks? Why do you believe that a woman can be single long term and stay happy?
Thing. I believe. Trust me. and I
Hey, you
don't
better
even
throw
want-
that damn quotation back on there.
I was gonna say.
Do you believe that a single woman can be
No,
happy?
they're happy.
Can a woman be single for a long term be long-term single in her life and be happy. Because what you hear a lot of single women saying is, maybe I want to be single. I don't want to deal with all of that. I don't want to deal with a man. Is that possible?
I think that you can be single and happy because there's certain things that are inside of us if you are honest with yourself.
I think it's possible if you're good with yourself.
I personally don't think it's possible. I've never seen it. And I've seen lots of single women.
Bruh.
We all got them in our life.
I'm going to say there's a caveat to that, though. We weren't meant to be single. Even when we were created. We weren't created to be single.
We definitely believe that.
So there is a longing for companionship that's instilled in us.
It's one of the basic needs of life.
Exactly.
It's about 7 or 8 blue zones in the world. These are where people live to centurions. People live forever. One of the main things is community.
Okay, there is a longing inside of us because we were not created that way. And you even get like 67-year-olds, I'm speaking from experience, 67-year-olds going to these single functions because they want companionship. Mm-hmm. In nursing homes, they want companionship. You know, you can live in a nursing home forever and be single.
You're gonna
and just
want
be happy,
companionship.
you know, but they want companionship.
You're going to want companionship, but can you be just okay with being by yourself? I believe you can if you're okay with yourself. Again, even in a marriage, that's why I brought that up. Is because once I learned how to be okay with myself, I was okay with my marriage. I feel everybody needs companionship because that's how we were created.
That's how we
Period.
were created.
I don't think that nobody on the face of this earth was created without compassion. I ain't gonna get into some other stuff that I was about to just get into with the priest.
Right.
I'm saying, everybody needs companionship. How you do it or where you think that it's okay to go get it and everything might be jacked up, but everybody needs companionship.
And we have to say this because cut y'all. We have to say this because we do work as well. We're Georgia certified prison volunteers, so we also go into the prisons, and we've done this for like 10 years, over 10 years, and different things like that. A lot of these prison relationships are created and happen because we are created for companionship, and people long for companionship.
That's right.
Behind those bars.
And so even people who say that they're gay,
happens.
they still long for that companionship. It's
Or
not
the
about
ones
being
that
by
say
themselves.
that they're not, and they just do it because they doing time. They long for that companionship.
Don't be talking about girl.
I'm not talking about
You ain't talking about them Crips no more.
I'm not talking about nobody.
You talking about them jokers.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So me personally, with my experience, I prefer, people who are spiritually grounded. So you talk about this single woman, and I'm assuming a single man should be serving God as well, right?
Oh, most definitely.
100.
Yeah.
So both
Why? And if you want to ask why, because somebody's like, why a person need to be serving God? Because then the person would know that you have some discipline in your life.
You got discipline, you grounded, you probably got a lot of those insecurities out the way because you got this God affirming you on a daily basis. It's a lot of great things to serving God. So my question is, when do you think a woman should be looking for a husband? At what age?
There's no age.
Okay.
Let's scratch
is there an
that
ideal age?
thing. Let's scratch that.
There's no age. She
there's
can't
no
be
age.
3 years old.
No, she can't. No. He said, oh, when someone gets to be the age where they may think that they want to get
Like
married.
18.
Yeah, you can't say that. Someone 18 versus
He
someone.
just get age.
Or versus someone who's 30. You can't say that. You can't say that.
You can't.
At
just,
what
you,
age
you,
should
you,
a legally consenting adult female
Okay.
be looking to find a husband?
I don't think 60 makes much sense. I think it makes sense to be.
Did he just say 60?
He said 60.
That's what I'm saying. I think it should be wise counsel on when you should start transitioning to go to this next place of servitude in your life, this next level, the ultimate
Younger
test.
than 30, right?
You said it's the ultimate test. When do you sign up to take the test?
When you are ready to make we. Because if you still stuck on me, no, you're not ready. You're not ready.
See, I find that, women my age, I'm 34 years old, I see a lot of stuck on That's my experience. A lot of stuck on And my thought is, right, because, we get women come up to us all the time. They're like,
I'm
Ryan,
sure.
Ryan, why you doing women our age like that? Why you saying that stuff? And it's like, yo, listen, I think that if you would have did X, Y, Z, you know, maybe some years back, you might be in a different position.
Because actually, from what we see, women typically, you know, people get married later in general nowadays. So what happens is typically people forego those early years, right? So I honestly understand why the men forego the years, believe it or not, especially as mostly society is putting the pressure on us to provide. It take you a while to get your money right because high school and college do not teach you how to get no money. So we have burnt all of those years really just in foolish, you know, randomness. And now in our 20s, we got to really focus and hunker down, get our vision right, get our money right. And that take about a good decade for most guys. And that's guys who's really got some things going for themselves, right?
I mean, you're speaking truth.
Now, the thing about it for the ladies, though, ladies do have to still be able to provide for themselves, and they got to be able to pay their bills at bare minimum because we got to survive. This is capitalism. But what happens is ladies, you know, they're starting to get more serious or wanting marriage later in their 30s. The guys who are getting older, probably, you know, they're in their 30s, 35 years old, you know, they're wanting to now potentially get married. And, you know, what kind of women are they potentially sourcing? They probably sourcing women who are maybe in their 20s. So the thing about it is, it's like, would it not be more beneficial for women, if they decided in their 20s to actually go about making that decision to transition into that lifestyle?
Not necessarily, and I'm going to use, because you said a lot here, so I'm going to have to break it down. We got to back it up
You're
and
gonna
break
get
it
Rufus in
down.
on this one, I can tell.
Yeah, we got to back it up. And, we got to back it up and break it down. I'm going to use a term, as my Christian brothers and sisters do, equally yoked. Equally yoked.
The Christian brothers use that one, huh?
Yeah, my
They love
Christian
that.
brothers and
They do.
sisters,
They
they
love
love
that
that
one.
one.
They
Yeah,
love that
yeah, equally yoked. There's a lot of women today that are doing the education thing. There's way more women.
I like that, the education thing.
Yeah, there's way
That's a
more
good name
women
for
that
it.
are educated than men. Let's just say black women.
Yep.
That have way more education than black men. Black men are coming up, but it's still taking a minute because black men were the ones that had to take over their households when their fathers weren't there. And these single mother households, you know, either their father just left, wasn't there, raised by a single mother, or maybe incarcerated, or whatever happened with the father, the male had to provide. So they've been in that provisionary role for such a long time for their families that maybe now they're just getting themselves together where their mother is okay and everything. So they have to get themselves together. And they have to, you know, get some substance to be able to present themselves as marriage material. Okay? So you have a lot of people that are out here now unequally yoked and aren't looking at maybe a 34-year-old female is not the same as a 34-year-old male. You're in different spaces. She didn't travel 15 countries. You know, she didn't got education. She got her bachelor's, master's, and everything else, where the male hasn't been able to do that. He hasn't had that opportunity, you know, and able to do
we
that.
meet them all over though. Wherever we go, we meet the millennials and the Gen
Different.
Zs. Now, I don't meet people my age when I'm traveling abroad a lot. I meet y'all.
Right, I can
Right. I be
imagine.
looking at y'all in the face like,
Yeah,
what
we didn't get
was
to do
I
that.
doing when I was y'all
we
age?
didn't get to do that with, you know, our age. So that's how we are in the 21st century as far as that is concerned. So you have to go back to that quote again. You have to find someone who's equally yoked. Maybe if she does have her master's, bachelor's, and different things like that, and maybe if the brother is trying to do entrepreneurship, you know, they can come together and create something. Once again, we have to remember that the marriage is not about you got more than me.
And marriage
marriage
ain't about
is about-
equally yoked.
Yeah,
But
the
if-
marriage is not, but you can be equally yoked spiritually. You could be equally yoked, you know, on a mission.
I'm just
But
saying
if this woman per se, she goes out there and she starts, retrieving this substance. I mean, more than likely, if she's full of substance, she's gonna be married well before the age of 35. Would you agree?
No,
Really?
no. No, not necessarily, because look at her pool. Look at her pool of options.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So when you say substance, do you mean money?
No,
if
something
she, no,
deeper than
if
money,
I
right?
was gonna say, yeah.
Well, what
if
we're
she,
seeing is just not happening.
if she is marriage material and she is stacked, looking like, and trust me, we know she is stacked. Her pool may not be, what she's looking for. They may not even qualify, for her.
Oh, it's small.
So this is right. This
This
is
done
where
got
we say
minute up in there.
exactly. This is where we say that people are going to have to look at other qualities as far as marriage is concerned, because somebody else can bring something to the table. I married this dude. He was broke.
I was never broke.
He was.
The bank account was just a little low.
Oh, I was
broke.
willing and dealing, bro. I had my own car, I had my own
Yeah,
money.
he had a couple of things, but he was marriage material. He had He had those characteristics and potential that I knew that this is the guy. Plus,
So
what
you was checking me
plus,
out.
I wasn't checking you out.
you were checking me
Plus, what he said to me when we went, because we just got married. Oh God, I'm dating myself. We went to the military base. They did our blood test. They don't even do that no more. But we suggest people go get your STI. Go
Hey,
get
hey,
Before
go get
sex, marriage.
all of that.
Before
Both.
anything,
All of
bro.
that, you know?
The stuff that's going around in the atmosphere, I don't see why they don't still do it. Matter of fact, I be telling brothers all the time, hey, bro, go do a blood test.
Yeah.
You need to know what you're
That's it.
dealing with.
Exactly.
See,
Okay, all
with
of that.
marriage, we throw out a lot of the basic need to know stuff.
Fundamentals.
right?
And then
go get a
and then
blood test.
Want to talk stuff or crap or get on social
Don't
media
just trust
afterwards
somebody.
with a video like, this is what happened to me. Like, why didn't you do this before?
Trust somebody
So
if
anyway,
you want.
so
You walk around with a soul on your lip.
Anyway, back to the blood test. So we went to the military base. We got our blood test done. We went to a small quarters, just a small little chapel, pastor, whatever.
Quarter, that sounds like a slave quarter.
He didn't
or something.
feel
Where did we go?
he didn't want to, the pastor didn't want to marry us unless he gave us some type of premarital counseling. That's why we suggest everybody. We do premarital counseling and we suggest everybody.
Quit just getting married off of that's fine if you want to do that, but it might be hard. We suggest premarital counseling.
So
Period.
premarital counseling is good.
Oh, most definitely. Let me
100.
finish the marriage. Let
okay.
me finish the marriage story. So before we went in, he says to me, we get out the car and he says to me, are you sure you want to do this? Sure you want to do this? We're 21 years old. Sure you want to do this? And I was like, yeah. He said, because when I get married, it's forever. Forever. So
I didn't
to
put
me,
a depends on there.
Yeah,
I
to
meant to
me,
say it depends.
at 21 years old, saying that to me, that was commitment.
Big.
And that's what as far as what he is concerned, and he has committed to that no matter what we've been through, he's stuck with that
Woo, I done
commitment.
been through some stuff, ain't I?
That commitment has been there of us working it out. People want to have the vows and all the good type of stuff. Better or worse, richer or poor. Trust me, we done been both. Richer or poor, sickness,
I
all of that.
ain't never been post.
He's been
Excuse me.
committed through it all.
Did
and
I
that's-
have little
that's what made the
funds
difference.
coming in?
Now, back to premarital counseling. 99% of all the couples that we have counseled did not have premarital counseling.
Interesting. So premarital counseling is good. What about premarital sex?
That depends on the couple.
Okay.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? We can't
I
sit
ain't
up here.
responsible for what you do and don't do.
We're
But
not.
you ain't gonna. I've met people who base getting married on good sex, right? Good sex ain't gonna save your marriage.
Good sex ain't
So,
gonna sustain your marriage.
If that's a pre-basis for why, and look, I'm only going by what people said, right? They actually were doing this because they wanted to know that it was going to be a good fit, all that good stuff. Again, just sex in a marriage, everything changed. I'm gonna tell everybody this: if you ain't heard nothing else I said, everything changes in a marriage,
It sure does.
including sex.
It sure does.
Wait,
sure
like
does.
it changes like what?
It could change
It
for
could
good.
be
It could change for
good, it could
bad.
change for
Women,
the
our bodies go through things. It's a lot
Exactly.
of things that women's bodies go. I ain't gonna sit here and spill out all the other stuff, but that's the reason for marriage. It's for you to go through these things with each other and
I'm
figure
gonna
it out.
spill it out because a lot of people don't get to talk to 30-year marriages. So I'm
Well,
gonna,
so
I'm
tell
gonna
me
spill it
this.
out.
Well, tell me
Exactly.
this.
I'm gonna spill it out. Why folks is sitting up there arguing over 50-50 and other stuff or whatever. They ain't even got to menopause and prostate. They ain't even got to that part.
They ain't got to that.
So while you sitting up there talking about who gonna pay bills,
So-
who ain't gonna pay no bills, y'all ain't got to some other stuff that y'all have to work out. Like
Things is
years
gonna
later, 20,
change.
30 years later.
Change can change everything. Hey, it's gonna change. So my point is you shouldn't base it off of something that's frivolous as sex, right? So when I
Now,
hear
he's
people
not
say,
saying, hold up, because your folks gonna say frivolous. No, he's not saying sex is not important.
sex is very
It's
important.
It's just a factor
Girl,
Gotcha.
please.
of a successful
Oh,
marriage.
bruh. Shh. Oh,
Oh,
we
you ain't
gonna
got no
have some-
complaint. Don't sit up there. You
Well,
got
you
some
doggone right. We
complaints.
gonna have some sex.
You ain't got no complaints over there.
So I got a question too. This is interesting because I went on your page and I saw y'all. First of all, y'all got a long history in the game, and I even see you. You seem like you. I could tell you speak your mind because you got a clip pinned to the top of your Instagram page. It's pinned, so you was proud of this moment too. You at the talk show. And this was at the talk show was it like a recap for the Housewives?
The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
The Real Housewives of Atlanta. This seemed like it was probably the first season. Like this was like, I don't even know this cast.
It was.
It was the very first season. And I thought this was so tremendous because let's talk about that concept of housewives because now, obviously, housewives are either going to be people who the society has either portrayed to be lazy women or just these very materialistic women who lack substance. And you went on that. You was literally raised your hand, asked the question, and you went off on those
Did I
women
go
on the
off?
stage. You went
Or did I
off.
just tell the
You went
truth?
off. You could tell that they was a little pissed. They was like, "Ma'am, do you have a question?" But long story short, you made a really good point though about how they were negatively portraying housewives.
First of all, we have Jenny. Jenny, you're from Atlanta?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
What's your question?
I'm not a hater, first of all, but I do have some concerns. I am a housewife from Atlanta, and I've watched the show. The very first show, within the first 10 to 15 minutes, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not a true representation of how we are in Atlanta. As an African-American woman, I was like, we don't get the opportunities to have these type of shows on television. And when we do, it's always about the cribs and the bling, and there's no substance or intellect. Money cannot buy you. Money cannot buy you class, style, or intellect. People who are affluent are not having to prove that they are affluent. It's something about your character. It's something from the inside out that proves you are
What's the
affluent.
question?
Right.
Where's your question? Do you have a question in that?
Yes, I do. I feel that the ladies don't seem to think that they're glorifying materialism, but you do not think that you're glorifying being a gold digger?
And I don't know if anybody in my generation has ever seen housewives being done properly. As a matter of fact, when you ask women their concept or what they think of housewives or would they want to be one, they get extremely insulted. I don't want to be a slave to the house. I'm not about to be stuck in the home just making babies, and this ain't no baby fact. It's all these concepts, but I would like you, if you could just talk to my generation about what a housewife looks like being done properly. What do you think of that role?
Great question.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm going to, thanks for bringing up that clip. Yeah, I get a lot of people that ask me about that clip. First of all, I'm going to just quantify or qualify what a housewife is, okay? Someone who takes care of the home, okay? Doesn't say you have to be boring. Don't say you have to sit at home all day, because a lot of times, I mean, we travel so much, we're international speakers, so a lot of times I'm not home, you know? Does not say that you have to do that. But a queen is her castle. You want to be a queen got a castle. So if you was in Wakanda or in Coming to America, the queen has a castle. So you would want to be in that castle. Is that not a housewife? But she's just labeled a queen, right? Because she's in a castle. So is your home not your castle? That's why I consider my home. Been there 30 years last month, thanks to this guy right here. 30 years in the same crib, okay?
Excellent.
Yeah, that's my castle. So I don't have to fake it, make it up, or anything like that. You see these women all across social media, stay-at-home moms making big money, bank. Stay-at-home moms, okay? I don't see anybody calling them like they just, nimble or, meek or, don't have any substance or anything like that. They balling. They balling out at home. And the only reason that you know that is because you out there looking at them on Instagram. Now, for someone to have to put us, I have a problem with us being showcased in that way as far as the Atlanta Housewives is concerned.
You're right.
Because number one, a lot of them weren't even housewives. They wasn't even married.
They weren't even wives.
They weren't even wives. So that's a slap in my face for the years and the effort and everything that I've put in marriage.
I mean, that was just
and what I
that stuff
see
is just
marriage
entertainment.
is. Yeah,
That ain't
what I
like-
see marriage to be, and this is what you want to put up, as an example or a display, for a woman or for a female, especially a black female, that this behavior is what a housewife is. No, we are so much more. We are so much more. And I think people need to value that. Reality TV is one of the things that has also come in and destroyed black marriages. Absolutely obliterated.
The media in general,
image.
too, especially reality TV in that way.
It's
I agree.
Definitely reality TV.
For sure.
Tell me why you think that.
The imagery. Everybody got to be a baller, boss babe. They doing all of this. They don't need a man. If they getting up there, they looking for a man, trying to find a man.
The way the women are treating each other. I mean, it's just
exactly all the fighting that
I just told y'all that's entertainment.
When I looked at some stuff with him, and I would say, because a lot of times we can't get past 1 or 2 episodes for shows that come out like, y'all serious with this, right? People don't live like that. People don't talk to each other like that.
Well, so it is entertainment. I do agree with you, but entertainment at this point is very much so a part of the community and the environment.
Because
So,
people want
will-
to imitate what they see.
Yep, and they see more of it than they probably see their
And
own
when
parents.
you consider it, most people growing up, they said like the best example of a father they saw was Bill Cosby, was Uncle Phil. Like sometimes entertainment gets truly integrated in your vision, in your lifestyle and who you even want to be and how the family you want to create. So unfortunately, if those are now the examples, especially people who already got bad examples in their own households,
Right.
if this is now what they're aspiring to be, the best relationship they see is the housewives, because I mean, technically it's a family, they rich, but all of this toxicity.
Now you got a paragraph
I mean,
that.
okay,
you
they're-
got a
That's when we go back
paragraph
to
that.
They're rich.
entertainment.
But this is now, that's the Housewives of Atlanta. That's the new Bill Cosby.
It's the new model.
They invited us on there, but we definitely chose, after talking to the producers, that she was the only one gonna speak, right? Because we weren't
He
finna
didn't
get
want
in no
to exactly.
cat brawl up in the
He didn't want to
studio.
make it seem like this, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of times it just needs to be a woman speaking to woman, woman to woman, and that's what that was to me. Because his male voice didn't need to interject as far as what he said to make it seem like he was female bashing, but they needed to hear it from
But
a
you're
woman.
right. The point is that
just
that's
to give
not
a
what we
little,
see.
just to give a little feedback as far as what happened after that clip. Nene actually came up to me, hugged me, and said she agreed with what I said. Yeah.
Shout out to Nene.
Yeah.
It's been a few seasons since, so we don't know if she still agrees.
She actually it just came out that Nene just said she's not. She like kind of said she stepped away from. The
She
Housewives.
backed away. Tamar Braxton has backed away because they don't like how they're being portrayed. As far as reality TV is concerned. People can go back to the 80s and see all the wholesome family shows that we had, from Family Matters to Fresh
Don't
Prince.
mention
to
James
the
Evans
Comedy
now.
Show. But that,
James Evans said he gonna slap a mother on Mad
That
Dog.
was the 70s though, but that's what I saw in him. James might have been poor, but James had character. James
James going on up
yeah,
in
he
here.
might have been poor. James was always trying to get
I
that
wasn't
foreman
trying to
job.
beat up no alderman.
He was trying to get that foreman job, right? But he had character.
That's good
He-
times for y'all. That's just a little loss on what's going on.
Exactly. If y'all didn't grow up with that, right?
Right.
He protected his family. He loved his wife. He raised and disciplined
Man of
his
integrity and
children.
character.
He did
for
whatever
sure.
He
he
had
could do for
integrity.
Man
his
of character.
family.
Exactly. And I think people need to look at that. That's marriage material. You know, and instead of trying to see somebody as a baller, like, you know, I think I saw something and I bookmarked it on Instagram a couple
The
days
girl
ago.
said if you ain't got $1 million insurance policy for her, $100,000, she ain't marrying you.
That's what I was about to bring
not
up.
that difficult to get.
I saw a clip on
Hey, bro, I ain't giving
Instagram.
nobody no insurance policy on me to marry me.
Oh, the insurance policy on yourself for her.
She
Someone that
needed
we
an
talked to
insurance
about
policy
looking for marriage.
on
Yeah.
you before
Yeah.
she marry you, bro.
She said she needed to be a beneficiary.
Right.
I saw a clip a couple days
100%
ago,
beneficiary.
a couple days ago on Instagram, and I bookmarked it. That this sister was talking about her qualities as far as marriage is concerned, and the brother was like, "Don't say it, don't say it." Like he need to make 6 figures or whatever. She said $650,000. Okay, now we already know that this child does not read financial literature.
Right.
Because she would not be saying that. First of all, there's only like 2.5% of people that make over 6 figures in this country. It's not even
many.
a lot of people. Now, if you break that down into demographics,
You want to talk about her pool of people?
exactly. If you break
Slim.
that down into demographics, how many black people do you think that's going to be? So if you ain't marrying a baller, and a lot of ballers don't even make that. First string on NFL does not make $650,000 a year. Okay, you're a basketball player or a someone in an entertainment business or something like that. $650,000, really?
It just be me and Tyshawn got to choose from, I guess.
And I don't want to.
Not insured. Not insured. So I actually got an issue with y'all too. I wanted to talk to y'all about this because, speaking of y'all social media, I was very upset because I just seen it this morning. Jenny, you actually ruined for me one of my favorite people that's been going viral online recently.
Oh,
I don't know the young lady's name.
Let me tell you, it's
the one that's pretending to be Muslim.
It's the.
Oh.
First off, I didn't know she was a fake until you just.
Let me tell you,
put it out.
listen. When I watched the first video of her, I said, I'm converting.
Yeah, you did too. I'm like, yo, I need to be Muslim today.
I said, I am
that's why she
converting.
did it. That's why she did it, to bring those views and likes in and to make y'all think. Now, I don't know if she's not Muslim. I think that maybe she is, but she is a comedian. And she was trying to bring, she was using the platform, her and her husband both, because he was the one asking her the questions. If you ever seen any of her videos and asking the question, that was him behind the camera asking her those questions.
Now, the videos, clips that you showed, I was like, okay, this kind of weird, or like I couldn't imagine, this didn't seem like it was real.
Hold on, wait. So just for context, guys, there's been a lady that's a Muslim lady who's been going viral for giving her perspective on what women should be doing now in order to please their husbands in this day and age. And she's been portraying herself as a Muslim. I don't know if she is a Muslim, but just so you guys know, this is what we discussing. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I've only seen the video. Well, I don't say I've only seen the videos that I like, but the ones that you show, I had not seen those, so those seem more
okay.
comical to me.
Okay.
Then they were inappropriate as well,
Yeah.
know. But the ones that I saw, the ones that are I think probably the most viral, I thought those were some pretty.
We
good
actually
ideas she had.
reposted one of them on
Yeah,
our
and
page.
I think you guys are probably talking about my husband does everything for me. So please your husband. Is that the one?
Well,
That-
she-
Like my husband is my boss.
My husband's
Yeah.
my boss.
Yeah, yeah,
My
yeah,
husband
yeah.
is my
That's a little
boss.
young girl, right? That's a little
Yeah,
young girl.
yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Well, actually, her satire has backfired on her because somebody in our Facebook family just notified me and let me know that they pulled her videos from TikTok, that her account got banned.
Wow.
So don't play.
I can see TikTok don't play. Yeah, that makes sense.
TikTok doesn't like anything about relationships, anything that can be considered misogyny, anything that can be considered making woman not equal to man.
And that's religious play too. Yeah. So that's that. She was in treacherous territories.
Yeah.
So I can see that. And that. So what you're saying is that mindset is not representative of the Muslim mindset, which pretty much you went ahead and spoke against it, which.
What happens, and I'm just going to speak, and there's some Christians and definitely Jewish people who believe along these lines as well, but I'm just going to speak from an Islamic perspective. What happens in the bedroom stays in the bedroom.
I
I
like
ain't
that. I
telling
like
y'all
that.
my
Stays
secrets.
in the bedroom. It is not all for everybody. It's not for social media. It's not, whatever how everything is going down, it stays in the bedroom.
I like that. I like
Period.
that. That's how it should be.
I agree with that.
I mean,
I agree with
why does that even have to be? We live in such a messed up culture. It's like they got to be solely Islamic. Like, why is that not just cultural norms that a woman doesn't go on a platform of Instagram with 700 million users and talk about her sex life.
Well, because if
even
a woman
a
can't
man
do
is
that,
that's
right?
trashy.
If you tell a woman not to do that, that's considered slut shaming, right?
Slut shaming.
Slut shaming, misogyny.
Misogyny,
You know, like
right.
a woman can't talk about, her experiences
I
or
mean,
different things
wow.
like that.
It's just unbelievable.
But it's,
what
it's certain things that we have in Islam that's called etiquettes.
But I don't care. I just tell you what it is.
Yeah, we tried to abide by those etiquettes, and she stepped outside the line.
Let me ask y'all this before we close out now, because we just hit an hour. So I want to close out on this
Wow,
one
that was
because
fast.
this is
That's a good
yeah,
conversation.
good conversation. We talk about this on a lot of shows, but I want to hear you an OG perspective to this, because in the Quran it does speak and is a bit open to polygyny, right?
Yes.
And a man can have up to 4 wives.
Yes.
Now, is this something that
Not in my marriage, but okay.
okay? So is this something that you just kind of answered my question? But I was gonna ask: is everybody open to this, or do you have to be open to the conversation if your husband brings it to you, or is that just pretty much per the relationship or per the couple?
Let me speak first, because I know you finna attack it.
I'm just saying.
He was
I
like,
know
"I was
you
gonna
take
talk
it.
to you about my wife, this new wife tomorrow."
Yeah, let me attack it. Okay, okay.
No, bro,
okay.
I was just gonna say I can't do another one.
I'm
Good with this one, right?
There are several things that are permissible within Islam, and it's a
I
conversation.
got about 2 more houses.
It's a conversation between the
more
couples
dogs.
because all the conversations and what you may see on social media with people with polygamy and different things like that, those are not the rules as far as Islam is concerned. You have to be just to another wife or all wives. Means that you have to treat them justly.
If you got 4, you got to have 4 houses.
Exactly. You have to be financially able to support those
all
wives.
good.
So like,
And
so
even-
like Nick Cannon.
Now you
what I
already
wanna be
see.
when I grow up.
Yeah, I pulled back on saying something to him because I said I comment on an Entertainment Tonight post, whatever, and I got like over 1,000 likes on my comment. Like I need to really stop talking. My thing was the time would tell with Nick Cannon will be how his children speak about him, and
That's a
he's
fact.
already before the last child is already saying he wished he didn't have so many because his time.
Well,
You know,
let's
so-
talk about the Quran, though.
So even though you are financially able to support these children, you're not emotionally
But
able
see-
to support these children.
But see,
you
God-
don't have the time to support these children.
God knows when we speak about the Quran, see, God knows better than we know ourselves. So even when God said, hey, if you can do it and do it right and be equal to these women, go ahead and do it. But he says, and which I believe God, he told me one was best for me if I only knew. He had to say nothing else. After I lived with her, I knew. Well, I only
And-
want to deal with one.
And
I
when
get
you
that. I get
see
that.
so many divorces just between monogamous couples, it makes sense. You can't even handle one marriage.
But you can do it.
How you trying to
I
do
want
more?
no Muslim saying, "Hey, the brother, y'all trying." I ain't talking down about polygamy. I'm talking down about how we do it in our community.
Yeah. Let's
we
work
can't
on
do
trying to
it
get one
and have all
marriage.
4 wives up under one house and think we doing just.
And let's try to work on getting one marriage right.
Yeah, let's focus on one and the side chick. Let's get one down. If we can't do one of the side chick,
That's
don't
it.
talk about no.
You
I'm just
can't handle
doing one.
I like y'all, man. I like y'all bring that energy.
No,
Y'all bring that
Thank you.
energy.
Thanks for having
Listen,
us.
I absolutely loved and enjoyed you guys' energy. You guys got some great wisdom for our people. You guys got some great programs for our people. You got a great book for our people. So please tell my people right there in that camera.
Surviving Marriage in the 21st Century, 13 easy tips that can help you get to 20 years and beyond. And actually this month, it's 10 years since we printed it, guys. It's sold over 200,000 copies. You can get autographed copies on our web store, on Amazon, any of our other books. We also do premarital counseling, and we have a podcast, Surviving Marriage Podcast, where we give a lot of wisdom and marriage tips and different things like that. You guys don't get conversations like the ones that we're having. So if you are actually trying to get into marriage, know what marriage material is. If you're tired of hearing about the, he ain't this, this, men ain't that, 50-50, gender roles. If you're tired of hearing about all of that and want to get into real in-depth, day after day after day, what is it going to take for me to sustain a marriage?
I can't give you nothing but 100% real.
Exactly. We give it to you real.
Let me tell you, first of all, I want to watch the damn podcast now after hearing that. So
We
listen,
need
y'all
some of these
better.
young women converted to respectable young ladies.
Absolutely.
They're having trouble. And some of these men, some of these weak men,
Oh my gosh.
they
Convert
need,
them.
right? They need help desperately.
Hey, so listen, y'all. First of all, thank you guys so much for coming on here and blessing us again with your wise wisdom.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you guys for tuning into another episode of Hardly Initiated. We are out.